here today. Just to mention that Carly started recording so that you're aware that we're recording this session. Obviously, if that's a problem for you, please just jump off your cameras. So I'd just like to start by saying that today we're all meeting on what always was and always will be Aboriginal land. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of all of the countries we're on. I'm joining you from Gadigal land as part of the Eora Nation. And I want to pay respects to First Nations elders and those past, present and emerging, and also to extend that acknowledgement and welcome to any First Nations people joining us today in the meeting. So thank you, team, for letting me open. It feels like a privilege to meet you all there. And I thought I'd like to start by really saying thank you to everyone who just participated in the recent census data collection that we did here at Playgroup New South Wales as part of the Playgroup Australia census drive. To give you an idea of how well we went in New South Wales, of all of the groups that met during Census Week, we received numbers from 70% of groups, which I think is a fabulous testament to your commitment to helping us understand who's coming to Playgroup every week. To give you some real numbers, we had 2,617 adults join us that week and 3,229 children, which is nearly 6,000 in total across the week. And we know that we haven't captured everybody, but like if you multiply that by how many weeks a playgroup runs, and then you multiply that by the entire country, that is a lot of people accessing Playgroup every week. And part of the reason that we really are doing things like the Playgroup census is it's really important at the moment that government, federal government in particular, wants to understand what impact we're making with playgroups. So you all know in your local communities what it means for you to come to a playgroup. But more broadly, the federal government is really looking at what are the benefits of playgroups for children and families, because their current commitment is that, they really want to support the early years. They've released the early years strategy. They've upped the wages for childcare workers. So this is really important information for them. So thank you so much for helping us gather that. And acknowledging that you've also participated in many surveys this year for different reasons. And it's my plan to put together a collation of all of that feedback once I have it all back from the researchers and share it with you. So I want to say thank you for that. And also to let you know of some changes at Playgroup New South Wales. You're probably very aware that the program lead, Fiona Ayres, has left us at Playgroup New South Wales after 13 years. And big shoes to fill, and she'll be really missed, but she's moved on to something that I think making her really happy, and so we're all supporting that. In her place, we will have somebody starting next week, Kate Hanley, who comes with broad experience across community, disability, volunteering, and a load of other sorts of roles that she's had. So we're looking forward to welcoming her next week. And just a couple of other changes at Playgroup New South Wales that you probably know about, but to let you know that Nadine Lee, the CEO of 7 Years, has recently resigned and left the organisation, and currently on the lookout for a new CEO. So that recruitment's active with our board. And our board also has quite a few new members at the moment. So it's a bit of a restart on quite a few things from board to leadership down to the team level. So thanks for having me along. I'm between visits and I'm actually in a noisy place. So I'm going to mute myself now and possibly go off camera, but I'm really looking forward to hearing the rest of the webinar. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Jenny. Pam, do you want to introduce yourself? And we'll just go through our team of community coordinators.
Yeah, hi everyone. Pam Amor. I was going to say Playgroup New South Wales because that's normally how I introduce myself. Yes, I'm on the community coordinator on the team. I've been with Playgroup New South Wales for quite a few years now, so some of you may have known me for a while. I cover Sydney area, so the Sydney Central and the inner west eastern suburbs, and southeast Sydney and St George, Sutherland, and Illawarra, Shoalhaven, right down to about Bateman's Bay. So that's my work area. And welcome and thank you for joining our webinar today. Carly.
Thanks, Pam. So I am the community coordinator for the Central Coast, Hunter, New England, North Coast and Northern New South Wales. I've been at Playgroup New South Wales. I have just had my 5-year anniversary. So yeah, that was really exciting to be here for that long. And I'll pass over to Mel. You're on mute, Mel.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Mel O'Grady. Thanks so much for being here today. I've been with Playgroup for about 18 months. I was a volunteer at my local playgroup for a number of years when my kids were little, and I fell in love with Playgroup so much that I now work for Playgroup. So I look after the southwest of Sydney, the western Sydney, and the Southern Highlands. So on to our lovely Megs.
Thanks, Mel. Hi, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Megs. I'm look after the Murrumbidgee, Southern, Western and Far West local health districts in the community coordinator role. I am actually only been here for 12 months, so haven't been here as long as the likes of Pam and Carly and Mel, but I'm based here in Wagga. And to give you an idea of what we do here, we actually, Playgroup New South Wales, manage the NORA Hub, which is a wonderful community centre based here in Ashmont, and we support those most vulnerable coming in as outreach, referral and food relief. And connect with different services. As well as that, here at the Hub, we have another program, Connected Beginnings, which is for Aboriginal children 0 to 5 years of age, and it's a wraparound service for their families. So we're all sort of supporting each other here as a team with those programs. Thank you. That's it for me. Okay, so the next slide just gives you a bit of an overall overview of what we will be talking about today. So as you may already know, we will be talking about our annual general meetings. So just the Playgroup New South Wales requirements, also going over what the agenda and what's involved. So it's best practice, so keep that in mind. Everyone will run their AGMs differently with your members and your location. It may not be run the same as another location, but we'll just give you an overview of our best practice. Another thing we'll be talking about is something that Playgroup New South Wales take very seriously, and it's at the forefront of everything that we do, and that's the Child Safe Code of Conduct. This is a new form, and we'll be rolling that out to all of our new volunteers and the new committee members that will be onboarding. So Playgroup New South Wales is extremely committed to the safety and wellbeing, and also the empowerment of all children accessing our programs and services. So it'll be great to roll this out across all of our community-run programs. As well as that, we'll be talking about a fantastic new training opportunity which is available to all of our volunteers, which is the Learning Hub. It's a non-compulsory hub, but it's a resource and a wonderful tool for all of our volunteers if you'd like to learn some certain topics. And then lucky last, we'll be chatting about the ProShop, which is an online merchandise portal where you can purchase Playgroup New South Wales official branded merchandise and other promotional materials. So getting into our AGM, it's this time of year nearly. So just a couple of tips and tricks to keep in mind. And if you've got anything you'd like to share with everyone here today, feel free to raise your hand and jump in and chat, or pop it in the chat as well. So a couple of things we thought, each year it's easy if you do schedule, and you may already be doing this, scheduling a date and a time. So, it could be the third Friday of October at the same time, 10 to 11. And so the Playgroup members and volunteers know at that time of year, it's the same all the time. But keep in mind, chat to the members prior to the AGM or right throughout the year about your AGM. And it's always talking about the opportunities to develop skills and maybe someone else in the team may be interested in taking on a new role as a committee member. And it's just chatting to people to see if they would like to take a role on board, or if there's any support needed. So make sure you do notify all of your members. We say to give at least 2 weeks notice, but the more notice the better. But if you've already had your scheduled date and time, that makes it easy for people to remember, but it's always good to also chat to them and remind them, and also our new families that join in that may not necessarily know when the AGM's being held. So there's a few ways of hosting an AGM, and that's completely up to your playgroup, what is easier. So of course you're face-to-face, you can do a meeting like this, which is a Teams meeting, or a WhatsApp or Zoom, which may be easier if you're doing a nighttime one and the children are in bed and you're working and you're doing that from home. Another idea is just if you're wanting it to be less formal and actually having it within the playgroup that you're facilitating, you can arrange a morning tea or have fun organising an activity for the kids, keep them happy, and then get your AGM over and done with while you're there. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a huge thing to do. We just say it's, best practice to hold your AGM and to try and hold it where it fits in best with the team, and try and make it as fun as possible. So with the AGM, it's just important to keep in mind that keep the business strictly just around what's required for the AGM. So all of your general business, you can actually deliver this separate to an AGM. So if you're wanting to have a general meeting afterwards, you can also have your general meeting after the AGM, or you can have it at another time. So we're just sort of to keep it in mind, to keep it strictly to just what you need to do within an AGM. So once you do have your new committee members elected, just talk to, like I've mentioned throughout, is just talk to the new members and the existing members throughout the year. Give them an idea of what the other committee members are doing, and and if they're wanting to support that committee member or interest in learning those skills, to just chat to our families throughout the year, and that gauges the interest of anyone wanting to take on a new role. So that's it from me. Pass it on to Pam.
You're muted, Pam.
Get that right one of these days. As Meg said, this is best practice. So the information we're providing is our best practice, and what suits your playgroup we also understand as well. And also, as Meg said, that the annual general meeting is about electing a new committee. So we're just going to go over a little bit of that and requirements. So that's the purpose of the annual general meeting, to elect a new committee. If you want to discuss things such as what you're going to do at playgroup and things like that, that's then separate to the annual general meeting. So you basically call your annual general meeting, you put the time in at the beginning, then it starts. You have your nominations, which we're going to go over, and then when that's all finalised, you close that meeting, and then you can do your general meeting. So I just wanted to explain a little bit about that. So the annual general meeting, the playgroup financial year is the 1st of October to the 30th of September each year. So the annual general meeting is held within 4 weeks of the end of the financial year, and your members should be given notice. And if you've been chatting to your members during the last couple of months, whatever, about that we're going to have a meeting, and you're stepping down, or we need new committee members, that's great, but you should give all your members at least 14 days notice that you're going to hold the annual general meeting. So it gives them a chance to come along to the meeting, be there, and if they're not going to be there, then maybe they might want to nominate beforehand, or suggest what they would like to do. We did send out an email, and with that email there was the minutes template. Now if you didn't receive that, or you'd like another copy, please let us know. You can put that in the chat, or let us know at the end. We're keeping a list of things that need to go out to playgroups, and we can send that to you. So you need to keep minutes of the meeting, and one of the important reasons also for keeping the minutes of the meeting is because if you need to change your bank account signatures over, you've got new committee members, then banks generally require minutes of a meeting. Your bank may be different. You need to check with the bank first, but that may be something that they'll ask you for. Do you have minutes of the meeting? They want to know who the elected people are that are on the committee that are going to be the bank signatories as well. So that's important to have that. But also minutes actually then are available to the members, and it actually shows members who are these people and what's happening at that as well. So you need to record who's attending in the meeting and also then apologies of people that couldn't be included. And you need to keep the minutes of the meeting for the life of the playgroup. Now, a copy of the minutes and the financial statement will be sent to Playgroup New South Wales, and Carly's actually going to go over that process with you, so I'm not going to go into that at the moment with you. And the previous AGM, last AGM minutes, you provide that to the people that are attending the meeting, but only those who attended can confirm that those minutes from last year were correct. So each time you have a meeting, if it's an AGM, or even if it's a general meeting, always make a note, write up the minutes of that meeting so that that information's recorded and what was decided. So also in the annual general meeting is a coordinator's report, and that can be written or verbal, and the coordinator's report is about what's been happening with the playgroup or in the playgroup, or anything that's you've done in the playgroup for the past 12 months. That can be informal, as I say, verbal, but the Treasurer's report needs to be written and presented as the annual financial statement. So the Treasurer closes the playgroup books on the 30th September, and then they complete the annual financial statement. They have the books reviewed prior to the meeting. Now, the reviews can not audited, doesn't need to be audited. The person performing the review can be a member of the playgroup, but that person cannot be related to any of the committee members. So it can't be somebody's sister or somebody's husband or something like that. So you can understand that it needs to be transparent, and so that's there. So it means that in that annual general meeting, the playgroup is aware of what the financial situation of the playgroup is moving forward, how much money's been spent, how much money is going on. And then when the new treasurer steps into the position, then the books have been reviewed and everything is squared up for the end of that, for the new treasurer to take over. Thank you. Next page. So the committee. Okay, so this is where the committee elected. So you want to ensure you've got a quorum, or you want to ensure that there are people at your meeting and a quorum. And so a single session playgroup, which majority of playgroups can be, 3 members or 25% of the membership, whatever's less. So that's not a lot of people. In a multi-session playgroup, you want to actually then involve your other members of your other sessions. So you want to have a minimum of 4 members in attendance that represent 60% of the sessions. So in other words, you want people from the other sessions to attend so they also can represent the sessions and then feed back to the sessions as well. The committee positions are all declared vacant. So your basic committee position of coordinator and secretary are vacant at the meeting. And then you call, or you may have already called for nominations for those positions prior to, or you call it at the meeting. So each person, even if it's somebody that's been the coordinator, for example, and coming back, they then, they nominate or somebody else nominates them and then somebody else seconds them. So that's for those members. So if there's only one nomination for the position, then that one person then takes that position as deemed as elected. However, if you have more than one person that wants that position, if you've got 2 or 3 people that want the the coordinator's position, then you held an election. But my suggestion is that if you've got more than one person that wants to be a position, think about sharing the positions. Think about how else everybody that would like a position on the committee can be, involved. They can be those 3 positions, but then it can also be other positions as well. So you can have somebody that does social media, or somebody that's going to be the email contact, or you can have 2 coordinators and things like that. So even though the basis is 3 committee positions, you can have as many as you like. You can have 2 coordinators and 2 secretaries. You can have a treasurer and somebody else. So it's great if you've got people that really would like to take on positions, and maybe you could share those. So, but if you feel like that you need to elect who that person is, then you have an election for that one nomination or that one position, and then the person who is not nominated for the position then chairs the meeting. So as I just said, the playgroup can fill any other positions, and particularly sessions. Sessions need to have session leaders and as many as you like in the session leaders as well, as long as there's communication between the sessions and the playgroup committee. The playgroup committee aren't expected to attend every day, so you want that clear communication. You want to know what's going on with all those as well. So the volunteer committee members should be elected for 1 year. Now, we understand that sometimes, you know, you are volunteers and that can't always, somebody may nominate as that position, but then perhaps during the year they move or change or something like that. So, but generally it's for 1 year term, and then they can re-nominate for another year in the same position. So, and as I say, this is our best practice, that committee members can't serve more than 4 consecutive years in committee positions without approval from Playgroup New South Wales. Now, what you need to do, if you've continually been the person on the committee for a number of years, you know, and maybe you'd like a change, or maybe you'd like somebody help or something like that, or you're happy doing, just let your community coordinator know. And maybe if you want more people to be on the committee, or, you know, you haven't got anybody to take over, or you're happy doing it, just let us know and we can have a chat about that and see if we need to find more volunteers and how we can help you with that. So thank you. Carly, I'm going to hand it over to Carly now. So after the AGM.
Thanks, Pam. So, yes, you've had your AGM. What do you do now? We have created a new AGM and committee members form. So this is another jot form. We love our jot forms here at Playgroup New South Wales. But this jot form will collect all the information about your playgroup. So we just decided that we wanted just to confirm all the details for all the playgroups with our changing of our systems and things like that. We know that some things have not transferred over so well, and we just wanted to make sure that everything is up to date and correct. So the form asks what day your sessions are, what time, the address of the hall, if you have a Facebook page or a Instagram page, any kind of social media, and then all the committee members' details for this upcoming year. So provide details for all of the members, all committee members, I mean. So even those who are staying on, just so that we know that, yes, this person is the coordinator and this person is the secretary and this person is the treasurer for the next year, or any other role that they take on. And then who is going to be the main contact? We know most playgroups that is the coordinator, but we've got quite a few who, you know, the treasurer is the main person that we contact. If you have a playgroup email address, like Bondi Playgroup at gmail.com, let us know that email as well, because that will be where all of the communication from us goes to. We also ask you, do you need any new day books or treasurer handbooks? Just so that then this automatically goes to Sharon and Lou at the office and they can send them out directly to you. And then there is also a section where you can upload your meeting minutes and your annual financial statement. So you can just upload them there. So then they go directly to us as well. So this goes directly to Sharon and Lou in the office. It gets uploaded to our system and then also gets sent through to your community coordinator. It gets sent through to us so that if there's anything that is kind of a bit of a red flag or something that we need to address with you, it's something that we can then follow up with you and just have a chat. So whether the finances show that you are struggling financially, or the opposite, in that you have heaps and heaps of money, we'd love to have that. But yeah, we do have playgroups who have lots of money, so, you know, just reminding them to spend the money as well. Or if you're really struggling with volunteers, anything that might be an issue or a concern, that then we can give you a call and have a bit of a chat about what else to do. So next slide, Mel. So once you have completed that form, the AGM form, every person who you have put down as a volunteer will get an automated email from us asking them to complete our new Child Safe Code of Conduct. So this is for every committee member. So it's now a requirement for all of our volunteers, not just our new volunteers. So we have been slowly doing it with our new volunteers in all of our new groups, getting them to sign this new Child Safe Code of Conduct, but we're now asking all of our volunteers to do it. So we're hoping that if we can get them through this new form, then we can get everybody to sign it as soon as possible. So we are a child safe organisation and we're just trying to put in new policies and procedures in place to show this, and the Child Safe Code of Conduct is one of these strategies that we're trying to do. So yeah, we just ask that you just sign this form. It just kind of outlines what your responsibilities are, and but if you have any questions or concerns about this, please contact your community coordinator. Thank you.
Thanks, Carly. And please, everybody, remember, like if there's anything that you want to chat about any of this today, or you need some more information, I'm not sure, please reach out to your community coordinator. We're more than happy to chat on the phone, send you emails, work out a time to speak to you and that as well. So although we're presenting this information to you today, don't feel that like this is just it. Happy to have that, that chat with you, or help if you perhaps don't get any committee members. Okay, so after you've got your new committee, or maybe you're staying on, or maybe, one person's staying on, you've got other new committee members, then you need to do your playgroup handover, particularly for new committees. Now, although the playgroup end of financial year, you might be staying on to the end of the year as the existing committee member and then leaving. It doesn't mean that you have to just hand over everything right then. You might be doing it now and then, but working with the new committee, which is great while you're there, to do that handover. So you organise a handover meeting, so some time when you can get together with the new committee and then have a chat to them about how the playgroup works. So you want to pass on, and we've got the playgroup user guide. Now that is a new document that we're just finalising at the moment, and that'll have everything in it. It'll be online. We'll be able to provide to you that have everything in it that you need to know about playgroups. So you can't pass that on yet because you don't have it, but I guarantee that will be something that you will be receiving as soon as it's finalised and the final approval. Any resources, inventory and equipment, any relevant documentation that you've got with your playgroup, your policies, your lease agreements, all that goes with the playgroup, you need to provide that. You need to provide the details, if you're hiring your venue from a council or church, who the contact people are and telephone numbers for that, keys, etc. And also, who your community coordinator is, or your contact for Playgroup New South Wales is, even if it's admin for Playgroup New South Wales, so they know where to go. We've found in past that playgroups don't know that they can actually contact us for things. So we're very open and transparent about wanting the communication. So anything you might have to do with the local council and community contacts is great. Any play activity or excursion ideas maybe you've had in the past, or you might have rosters, you might have schedules, things like that. The other thing that we're sort of putting into is update the equipment inventory at the end of the financial year, and towards the end of the year is a great time to update your equipment inventory, and please send us a copy. The reason behind that is that if something happens to your venue, and perhaps we've had floods, we've had fires in recent years and everything, and perhaps something's happened and the equipment's lost, then if we have a copy of that, then we the insurance company know like what to help replace if it needs to be to go to the insurance company. Arrange and change bank signatories. So that's what I mentioned before about the minutes of the meeting and arranging. And I suggest that if you're going to go to the bank to change the bank signatories, then please contact them first and make an appointment. You don't want to turn up and then you've got to wait in a line if it's a teller. And so there's usually somebody at the front of the bank, and if you work with them and then organise a time to go out and change it, if you're taking your children with them, then it'll fast track the process rather than having to wait in a queue for that. And then really important too, only relevant sign-ins or passwords for social media, emails, etc. That's really important as well. And put all the information in a file to be kept at Playgroup, so it's in one place that it might be the coordinator has it, but then or the other committee members know where that information is. So that handover information is really important. Maybe you had a great handover, maybe you didn't get a good handover, and you've learnt from the experience you've had in the past 12 months that would be good to actually pass it on to somebody else. Thank you. Thanks.
Thanks, Pam. So as well as that, it's really, please keep in mind how important it is for the treasurer, to the outgoing treasurer, to support the incoming treasurer. So spending some time and going through all the documents and all of the relevant information and resources that you use, and actually providing that little bit of training to the incoming treasurer will ensure that the playgroup transitions smoothly and it's a sustainable playgroup for the future. So some of the resources that that you may have to go through with the incoming treasurer is the handbook. Another one could be the day book, of course, your receipt book, and any other previous financials that Playgroup New South Wales require you to keep. So anything related to financials, go over it, spend some time with the incoming treasurer and make sure they're really confident. As well, you could also become a mentor, and if they're the go-to, if that person is really needing some support or extra guidance for the incoming year, that it would be great if you could still be available and mentor the new committee member throughout the year. So before you do that handover, it's really important as the outgoing treasurer to make sure that all the finances are in order. Your books have been reviewed, the annual financial statement has been forwarded to Playgroup New South Wales. So that does really clear that financial year, and it gets you ready for the next financial year for the new incoming treasurer, or if it's yourself, you've got a fresh start for the rest of the 12 months. So the annual financial statement, as mentioned earlier, has been emailed with a copy of our AGM agenda. So if you do require a copy of the annual financial statement, to please reach out. So just the main thing is to just as the outgoing, to spend that quality time with the incoming and make sure they're really confident and really aware of what they're required to do. If that's not possible, reach out to one of your community coordinators and we can work with the new incoming treasurer. The last thing we want is to people to feel like it's too much for them and to resign, and then we have someone another committee member that we need to recruit. So any support that's needed, please reach out to the previous treasurer or a committee member, or of course one of your community coordinators. It's also, as the treasurer, we have talked about this in a previous workshop, but to keep in mind about the recording and requirements around that. So our day books, we need to keep them in particular to record incidents and previous incidents. So we are looking at these timeframes. They may change, but at the moment it's a minimum of 25 years that someone has a right to claim for an accident. So if we can keep all the day books, as well as that, all of our financials, anything related to that, to please keep for a minimum of 7 years. And that's from the date of the end of financial year. So if you're wanting to keep them in an archive box or whatever, and you can just label them, and then you know at that time after 7 years that they can be archived, it's an easy way of doing it. Also, if you're looking, we do have the treasurer. It's an Excel spreadsheet document, so it doesn't take up as much room to store at home. So if you are, I'd really advise you to have a look at that treasurer electronic spreadsheet. And it also has annual financial statements, so it makes things much more easier for the treasurer, and there's no storage at home. And it's much easier to keep on file. So keep that in mind. If you're needing any support with that, we can also help you through those documents. So if you have any questions about record keeping or any handover related to the AGM, and in particular with the treasurer that I'm speaking about, please reach out anytime. We're all here to help you.
Thanks, Megs. I wanted to speak to everyone today about the ECA Learning Hub. So recently, Playgroup New South Wales has partnered with Early Childhood Australia, and we wanted to offer a big list of courses that are going to be of interest to Playgroup volunteers. If there's anyone who's looking to sort of level up their understanding or expand what they offer at their playgroup, this is a terrific opportunity to sort of deepen your knowledge. So what I wanted to do was just show you where to log in. So just excuse me while I share screen here. All right. Okay, so we just hop in here. We just log. Harley, if you wouldn't mind popping in the chat the job form for all of the volunteers if they would like to sign up as just expressing their interest in getting a login details to ECA. We'll be in touch with login details for you. So I'll just give you a little tour here. So here's the hub. This is just under my profile here. So I just hop into my learning, and here we go. We're actually going to compile a list of courses that are going to be a little more relevant to playgroups. A lot of these courses right now, as it stands right now, are probably targeted to a lot of people working in early childhood, for example, long daycare. So there might be things that aren't so relevant, but there definitely are some things that will deepen understandings. So, for example, I saw some wonderful courses here, NAIDOC, partnering with families for inclusion, so any kind of disability support. I saw a great course about including rainbow families. What was the other one I saw recently, which I saw was outdoor education. So if you wanted to do like a bush kindy style program, excellent opportunity to walk you through there. So yeah, so it's that I've had a little bit of a browse through, and they're all very easy to watch. Ooh, I'll hop out of that. Some are longer than others. Sorry, can you still see me?
Yeah, we can see you, but we don't have anything shared.
Oh, right. So there we go. So yeah, if you're interested, just please complete the jot form that I provided, and I'll give you some login details for ECA. And the next thing I wanted to tell you about was the Community ProShop through VistaPrint, another partnership that Playgroup New South Wales has organised. So this is just a quick screenshot of the kinds of things that are available. We, Playgroup New South Wales, is still going to provide playgroups with core flute signs. Thank you, Carly. Carly's just putting through the jot form to sign up for that if you haven't already. So just fill in the jot form, which will let us know that you're interested in login details for the VistaPrint ProShop. It's just, as you can see, all of the merch type things that you might be interested in, t-shirts, jumpers, the signs, banners. Oh,
you're not
sorry.
sharing anything.
I'm on from current slide. Is that any different?
No, there's nothing being shared at the moment.
Sorry, everyone. Oh, we're back to the start now. How about that?
No.
Oh dear. Sorry, everyone. Technical difficulties. Current slide. Carly?
Yep. You good?
Is it up now?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so this is just a little bit of a screenshot showing you what the inside of the VistaPrint ProShop is showing you. So again, the kinds of things that you can order. There are lots of playgroups at Playgroup New South Wales, community playgroups that have their own logos. Several of you have already signed up to be part of the shop. It's all quite easy to use. You can upload your own logos. So if that's up your alley, just complete the jot form that Carly shared in the chat, and that'll let us know to give you login details for it. So that brings us to the end. Before we say goodbye, why don't we have some times for some questions, thoughts, comments? How's everybody feeling about doing the AGM?
You want to stop sharing, Mel?
Well, I suppose if anyone is doing it for the first time, please do feel welcome to reach out to any of us, your community coordinators. It may seem like a bit of a daunting process. We've explained the how-to, the best practice. But as Meg's said earlier, do find time you can do it in any kind of shape or form, whether it's a chat at Playgroup, it doesn't have to be too formal.
Or you could go out for a night.
Yes, make a night of it. Make a night. I think that's genius.
Yeah, I used to do that at my first playgroup. That's how we ran them. And then I ended up running them as a during the session, because I was like, people didn't turn up, and then you'd have more people's input. When you go for elections, yes, everyone looks down and doesn't want to engage, but it is a really great way to actually talk about, you know, other things that are happening at the playgroup. So not in the AGM section, but if you do a general meeting where you can just talk about, you know, what do the people want, because it is a really great way to engage your families while they're there in front of you, which sometimes is easier to do than expect them to come to a different session.
Oh, excellent.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Morning tea helps, definitely.
Yes, include, I always used to say include wine or sugar.
Any other ideas that anyone would like to share? Feel free.
Nikki here. I just had a quick question. I might have missed it. I'm just at work, so I'm in and out. But the day books, how long do they need to be kept for? The
Only
completed day book?
if they have an incident in them, they have to be kept for 25 years. So if you've had an incident at the playgroup, other than that,
7 years, was it?
They don't need to be kept.
Okay, because we've got lots going all the way back to 2008, I think was when I saw the other day. Some very, very old files in our room. So I was wondering about. Yeah.
Thank you. Because they have people's contact information in them, it would be best practice to be able to shred them, to be able to get rid of the contact details privately. But yes, we know that's not always possible for playgroups. But if you keep anyone that has any incident in them, but yeah, other than that, you can get rid of. I would kind of recommend keeping maybe a year or two, just in case. I don't know why. Do we have any? Is Sharon still here? Do we have any? Sharon doesn't seem to be here still. Is there any? Pam, would you? You're on mute.
Oh, sorry. I'm just trying to see if Sharon's there. I would suggest. Oh, okay. I'd suggest keeping them for a few years. But you don't have to keep them back to 2008. That's for sure. And definitely, if you get rid of your day books, they have to be like shredded, as Carly said. You can't just go and throw them in the recycling bin or anything like that. So they are people's information. So we will check though. Look, I think it's a good idea if we check with Sharon, because Sharon knows everything about day books, and just confirm that, is there a period of time? Maybe Jenny's on there. Does Jenny know if there is a period of time when there's no incident, if the day books have to be kept?
That's not a piece of information I know, Pam. I do know about keeping them with an incident because that's a legislative requirement for children, but I'm not sure without. We'll have to check. Yeah.
Okay, we can go back to that.
Just with the day books, I can't remember now, I haven't looked recently, but there's a limited number of people that fit in the day book. It's not compulsory to use the day book, is it, if we keep another register?
It is best practice to keep the day book, but as long as you have a register of who attends and their contact details, then that is fine.
Carly, I might just jump into there for Kathy. There is a project underway in our client record management system at the moment to allow you to be able to mark off attendance online rather than through the day book. So that's, hopefully going to happen fairly soon. So we'll keep you updated on that one as well, which might make it a bit easier.
Yeah, because at the moment we've got a QR code that goes to a Google Sheet, and I've got a copy of that. But I can keep that, and then people fill in a separate registration form with all their details so that I can cross-check if we needed to, get a contact number or whatever. But the day book for us, with the numbers that we have coming, it's just not practical.
Yeah, and that's great, Kathy. Like, I think as long as you're keeping track of them, but yeah, we are trying to get
Yeah, I
our.
think it would be really good if there was a centralized system to, you know,
We're
because
working
now
on it.
people are tapping to pay and
Yeah.
blah. So, you know, the whole writing down with a piece of paper's gone by the board.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
definitely. Tamara, did you want to talk about what you guys do?
Hi, sorry, trying to find the unmute button. Yeah, it sounds like we do something very similar to what Kathy just talked about. Sorry, I'm a little person here too. So we have a QR code where everybody signs in, and we ask that people do that for every session they attend. And in the form, and I can share this actually on the Facebook group if anyone wants to see what we do. It's like our version of the day book. So we capture whether people are a first timer, whether they're regular, casual, or returning. And we also ask if they're a Playgroup New South Wales member or not. I also ask people if they don't know if they're a member. That's something I've introduced recently because I found people just weren't sure. And so I check that form. Basically on the weekend, I open up my Google Sheet and I just sort it, and I see who's not a member or who doesn't know if they're not a member, and then send out emails to ask them to become a member. Or if they don't know, I send an email to Playgroup New South Wales with the person CC'd and said, you know, can you look this person up? That seems to work pretty well with us. People do complain every now and then about, you know, why do I have to sign in every time? Unfortunately, I just say, look, it takes about 20 seconds to lodge the form, and that's 20 seconds is actually a lot less than what it takes to plan and put on the session coming from a volunteer. So we probably get about 90% of people signing in, and it's no drama. And I also remind them that it is for our insurance and our session planning. And they do have also the little incentive, because I do get everyone's email address. If we have any special events or anything, if they've checked in the last 3 months, they'll get an email telling them about it. If they don't check in, they don't get that sort of information. So that's also a little bit of an incentive. But I can share that form on the group. Just don't submit it, because otherwise it'll look like you're all coming to my play group. So and you all get welcome emails from me. So just be warned.
That'd be great.
No problem.
Thanks for sharing, Tamara. That's really helpful. And it's really great to hear that you've made something work for yourselves as well, Kathy. But yeah, if we can create something that is standardised across the board, that is what we are aiming for with our new system, isn't it, Jenny? And yeah, hopefully that will be in place at some point soon.
That would really be good.
Yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you.
I think it's probably coming quite, I think it'll be within the next month that we'll be giving you some information about that. And my understanding is it will have the capability for people to sign themselves in, or for you to also tick the boxes of, currently attending members at the end of a session if people haven't signed in. So I think it's going to have both access points.
And so that will go directly to you or to... Oh, sorry, am I still on? Yeah. Or to both the coordinator and you, or?
Yeah, so you'll be able to see your play group on our system at any point in time. Yeah.
But you will also be able to see?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, trying to find out if they're members, like, it's pretty clunky to have to ask and then send an email, and then they don't reply, and then you've got to remember who didn't reply. And
yeah, so that's all part of the process. It probably won't be 100% schmick at the start, but there's been quite a bit of work done so that we can capture that, both to support you at Playgroup, but also because government is going to start to require that from us. They want to know more with the funding they give us to provide this backbone support about, the numbers of people that are coming and when they're coming and where. So that's it's serving both purposes.
Okay, terrific. Thank you.
I think also with the day book or a register, with it's great to have a record of who is attending, but also a useful tool if you're having to have an evacuation or you're going to plan one and do a dummy one, because you can, smaller play groups may not necessarily be as difficult, but some of us online have got larger play groups. At least we've got a record of who's in the building at that time. So another way to encourage members to make sure they sign in is for WHS as well. I think it's always great. And yeah, getting back to the members that are attending, if you've got a current list of your members, if you could forward them onto your community coordinators so we can check our records and see if they're up to date. There's been a few changes with especially people becoming a new member, and so they not necessarily maybe linked to your playgroup. So if you provide us with a member list, we'll be able to check our records and make sure that everyone, in particular new members, are linked to your playgroup.
That's right, Megan. As long as we have, with a name, we have an email, because if you can imagine, you can put a name in and there might be 4 or 5 people that come up in our system, and then and we know people may not live in the same suburb or same area that playgroup is on. So if we have a name and an email address, then we can track it through the email. It's easier to do it through the email than yeah. And I know, like, a lot of playgroups now might meet, have a WhatsApp group and things like that. But that's how, at the moment, we can track them, and we can get the membership numbers and give them all to you and let you know, yep, these people are all members. So that might save you actually having to ask them, are they members? So, and as Megan said, like, a record of who attends each week is important to have for any situation that may come up or may have happened at the playgroup.
Yeah, I've put that app on my phone so that I don't actually have to have my computer there every week in case of a fire, so that we can just look up, okay, who's signed in, and hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's great, Kathy. Does anybody else have any last minute questions for us?
I'm just going to mention the day books again. I did actually find some information going back that we previously had, and we are updating our information that day books should be kept for 5 years, but we will clarify that if there's no incident. If there's certainly an incident, it has to be up to 25 years, but we'll clarify that for you.
Thanks, ma'am. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you all for coming today. It was lovely to see you all, and hopefully we'll be hosting another one probably mid next term. And I think our lovely Nat, who I think is on here today, will be presenting on intergenerational playgroups and how our community playgroups can get involved in that as well. Oh, hi, Nat. Yeah, so we'd love you all to come along to that, and we'll let you know more about that kind of early next term once we have a date booked in. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you all again. Please reach out to us if you have any other questions or concerns.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, good job, girls.
Yeah. I've got to catch you later. I've got to get to
Yeah.
somewhere else for another meeting. So, but well done. I think it went really well.
Thanks, Jenny.
Okay. See
All
ya.
right. Thank
Bye.
you.
All right. We'll leave. We'll go back.
Yeah.
Great job.
Good job. I think we might go out and just join in our chat. I'm just trying to work out how to stop